to the Value of Wrestling. We are back. We've been gone a little bit. Official business, non-official business, there's a lot of stuff going on. But we are back on the Big Time BT Bald along with my tag team partner,
Paulus Clark.
And we're here to give you a review of Survivor Series. And you had to be a survivor to survive this. We thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. So let's start this right now, right here, together again, live and in person, in real life, doing everything we can for our own protection against COVID, but we are good. So we are safe, and we're only two. There is no more, so we aren't breaking any laws. Curfew, maybe, but hey, shit happens. Anyways, Survivor Series. The farewell to the dead man, the big talk-up. Everything was about the farewell to the dead man. 30 years of wrestling, 30 years of being through Survivor Series. He came into Survivor Series via the mystery partner for the $1 million team, Ted DiBiase, and he introduced, being managed and brought down to the ring at that time by Brother Love. I love you! And so, yeah, that's what tonight was built up to be. And, of course, it was the best of the best as Raw brand's best versus the SmackDown brand's best. Took it and did what they did with it. I was going to say take it to the limit, but they didn't take it to no limit. There was only at least 2 decent matches on this whole card. Everything else was pretty much lame. So, I know we had the pre-show. The pre-show was the Battle Royal with everybody who was left over. And The Miz won. They had Dominic Mysterio in the end and Chad Gable in the end. And they had a pretty decent back and forth until Dominic Mysterio eliminated Chad Gable. And, of course, Mysterio doing the young, dumb babyface, yay, I won. There's no bell ringing. You're like, yeah, when are they ever going to learn when they start cheering? They don't hear the bell ringing and their music playing. That they're like, oh, wait a minute, something's not right. Anyways, Miz came back in the ring and threw Dominic Mysterio out, and Miz won the Battle Royal for whatever reason.
Well, I think him with the Money in the Bank, I think it was good that he got a win off of something that's, it's not the championship, but it gives him momentum.
So what?
At some point, whether he wins or loses, I think that momentum for that match, for cashing in the Money in the Bank contract, I think it's important to have that. Maybe he could, factor going in.
Thought he would have done it that night.
I thought the same way.
Anyways, we opened the show with the men's Survivor Series match, the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series team. Raw's team of AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, Riddle, and Sheamus were taking on the SmackDown team of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso. Otis, and who got eliminated hell quick? Oh, John Morrison. Because John Morrison got eliminated in 30 seconds. No, wait, that was in the Battle Royal, wasn't it? Who was the other partner on that team?
Yes, I don't remember him as.
He got eliminated from the Battle Royal in 30 seconds. That's what it was. No, it wasn't John Morrison. Sure.
Who could it be now?
Survivor Series 2020. Why do I not remember who was on the SmackDown team? That's sad. Really sad.
So I was asking if we wanted to have the card up.
I don't care about the card. Okay, no pre-show. Okay, the preliminary. It was.
That one booch.
Oh, King Corbin. That's why I don't remember him, because it's King Corbin. That's right. It was King Corbin. Useless. King Corbin. Which no longer should be king. Anyways, that time's right now. Yeah, it was King Corbin. No wonder why I can remember Baron Corbin.
Clean sweep for Raw.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only highlight of this match is Seth Rollins, Jey, and AJ Styles and Jey Uso started the match as respective team captains, quote unquote. No real true qualifying number or name there. They just both took on those roles. After Sheamus entered the match, Rollins tagged in, got on his knees, and allowed Sheamus to bro kick him for the greater good. He turned around, looked at his team, and goes, for the greater good, then turns around, falls on his knees, looks at Sheamus, and says, do for the greater good. And Sheamus stood there looking at him like, what do I do? And he's like, do what you do. And so, yeah, Sheamus backed up and Bro kicked the heck out of Seth Rollins' head. So, I don't know what this means. I don't know if that's a bye-bye to Seth Rollins, since Becky Lynch is supposed to be giving birth to their first child. So I don't know if that means that's him getting rid off TV or what.
If it's not his last time on TV for the foreseeable future, it's going to be one of the last times then. Like, maybe he makes an appearance on SmackDown, we'll find out.
Maybe he's falling from grace. Maybe that's the story we're going to get, a fall from grace.
Possibly.
After being beaten by Mysterio and betrayed by Buddy Murphy. Even though I always still feel like the Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, Rey Mysterio thing's not over. Like, I feel like Buddy Murphy's like infiltrated them to be the spy more than, but maybe they're doing something different.
For that, never mind.
After Rollins was eliminated, Mania SmackDown team members got out and discussed themselves, and then Braun Strowman got mad and did his run around the ring. Took out everybody. Back in the ring, Owens performed a stunner on Lee, Sheamus, Riddle, and after which Styles performed a phenomenal forearm on Owens to eliminate him, and then Kevin Owens was, bye, 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 baby, bye, 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 bye. And then Corbin got in the ring. Styles attacked Corbin with a super kick, and Riddle performed a floating bro from the top rope to eliminate Corbin. So Riddle's finally got a victory over Corbin.
Again?
Well, I don't know if he's ever got one.
When they were on SmackDown.
Well, good for him. Most of the time he's losing to Corbin. So, after that, Otis got in there with Keith Lee, and they actually had a kind of good back and forth. The two big men, they did really good, back and forth. Then Otis performed the Caterpillar on Braun Strowman, which was great. After he performed the Caterpillar, Otis attempted a Vader Bomb on Strowman, only for Riddle to intercept it. Strowman took advantage of the distraction and hit him with the running power slam to eliminate Otis. Leaving Jay attacked Team Raw with a flurry of super kicks. He countered the phenomenal forearm from Styles, attempted to splash on him. They went back and forth. He took everybody out. He flew out of the ring. He took down AJ with a super kick. In the meantime, Keith Lee tagged himself in. Jey Uso didn't see it. He super kicked AJ Styles, went up for the phenomenal forearm. He was on the top. He was on the rope. Jake super kicked him, and as Styles fell over the ring ropes, because he fell like his gut hit the top of the ropes, mm-hmm. Like he fell real good, not in a bad way. And so in that moment, Keith Lee tagged himself in. Jey Uso went up to the top to do his finisher splash on Styles, but was caught in the air by Keith Lee, who turned it around into his Spirit Bomb. Uh-huh. Yep, the Spirit Bomb. And the 1, 2, 3, the match was over, and that was it. And there was nothing special to write about, nothing special to talk about. Jey Uso looked like a chump after everything they did to him. It was just like, later in the night too, he did go see, or had to go talk to Roman, and Roman basically told him, "You're a joke. Leave my arena." And he kicked Jey to the curb. Jimmy was there too, trying to cool the heat. But hey, 5-on-1, what are you going to do? Anyways, the next match was the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits versus the New Day. The New Day, including Xavier Woods, came down. They were all dressed in their Gears of War gear for their new thing, because they're on Gear of Wars of 5. Downloadable content, cool, yada yada. This would have been a great time for Big E to betray them and turn on them, to give him a push to go do something. But
I agree that they need to do something with Big E for sure. I don't know if a heel turn is the answer though.
Well, I don't know, but it set up a perfect time for something, for anything, to give him something new, to pull him away from where he's been, where he can get a little more serious. And I think you have to go heel. For him, I really think he's got to bring that back to the Big E Langston that we got in the beginning, his Dolph Ziggler era. I think he's got to pull away a little bit from Big E right now. And I think the best time would have been now to turn against New Day. Not that I want it, not that I necessarily like it, but I think that would have given him that push in a new direction.
You can be serious without being a heel, though. I mean, it's like...
Yes, but he's got to get away from the joking, because it's all he's been. And even as a single, they keep making the joke. He was like, haha, with the Street Profits doing the same shit.
Right, because they're putting over the New Day as in the tag team, as opposed to putting him over as a singles guy.
This is why.
But that's just a change of writing. That's not like I said.
I know, but when they're not. They were talking briefly. They started getting on a roll, and now it's slowly fizzled out again.
I feel like he's doing what he's given to do. So
no, I'm not saying it's on him. I'm not saying it's him. I'm just saying I think they fizzled out on that push. I don't think they're going to do what needs to be done to get him into that main event spot. If they're not going to put him in serious roles, like they're having him joking around with the Street Profits about their New Day match, at Survivor Series. Granted, they're friends, but at some point, he needed to like either take them out or take them on one in a face-on-face competition or something.
Okay.
You know, something where he could be taken serious. Like, oh, you want to talk about my boys? So let's go and score this up in the ring. You first, then you, or something. Or hell, let Big E take them both on a 2-on-1 handicap match. May not be a realistic match. I think Big E would win, but
I don't know. As low as Montez Ford is, Dawson would be the.
Well, the Street Profits are pretty good together. I'm just saying, it would be he would kind of put Big E in the underdog. He could have him win because it could be done. I could see it being done, but they don't take the options of what they have to do anything with Big E. Like Big E started to have these little moments, and now it's just kind of like he was fizzled. Like the whole last month, all he's done is been in back seeing things, talking to the Street Profits to sell the New Day.
Because for everything they've been doing, they concentrate on like maybe one or two stories. And that's really it.
So, I mean, I know it's not Big E's fault, but I mean, it's like, the only thing I can see for him is like, I'm tired of living under the New Day shadow and I want to break out. Not that I might really want to see him turn on New Day, but it's like, to me, logically, the storyline would be really good to have him go in that direction. It would make storyline sense. It would push him in a new direction. It would refresh his character. And that's what he needs. He needs a reset of his character. He's got to break away from the New Day gyrating and the ha-ha, and I get that's part of who he is, but some of that, he's got to break away from that to be like, I want to be a serious competitor for the main event. So, anyways, after that we did have, the Street Profits won, which I think was the right team to win. They're the younger team. They are, quote-unquote, the future or the next New Day, or, you know, not like the New Day's really been... They've been around a while, but I know not forever. Everybody acts like New Day's been here forever. I'm like, all the stars have been here for a long time. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E have been in the WWE for a long, long time. But the New Day has been a fairly new thing. It's not even...
a 6-year act, I believe.
So it's still kind of like, I don't know how you say the Street Profits are now the New Day, because it's kind of like the New Day is still like relatively...
The New Day's the New Day. That's the new.
Why do we need a new? Anyways, after that, the match was so-so. It was, you know, it was good. They did what they needed to do. Street Profits win.
I had no preference either way. It's like I like both teams.
Well,
I knew I was going to enjoy the match. Beyond that, it's like
yes.
Whatever happens, happens.
Well, I figured it was probably going to be a Street Profit match, just the way things have been set up. They were really looking like New Day was better than the Street Profits, and I think that was just the right place. In the right time. I think it does more for the Street Profits to get that big win under their belt than it does for the New Days to really... The New Day get nothing from beating the Street Profits right now. You know, can there be a rubber match in the future? Yes.
Bragging rights, maybe, but nothing substantial.
With the Street Profits winning, it gives them a bigger push of being the better tag team champion. And I think it sets them forward to whatever they do next. Unfortunately, what's next is... I don't know, because I don't know any tag teams on... I don't know what tag...
No, that's New Day. I'm sorry, that's not the Street Profits. I was about to say they keep running into the damn Hurt Business.
Yeah, that's Raw, but I don't know anybody on SmackDown. I don't know other than Ziggler and Rude. Are there any other tag teams in WWE right now other than Ziggler, Rude, the Street Profits, the New Day, and the Hurt Business?
It's probably going to be another...
Are there any other tag teams?
It's probably going to be another, you know, makeshift tag teams, what they're probably going to wind up facing. They're going to take another 2 singles and just shove them in the tag division for a little while.
Does anybody know, is there any other tag teams in WWE right now other than... trying to rack my brain for a tag team. Is there any tag teams in WWE?
The Steiner? No. Harlem Heat? No.
No. Oh, Viking Raiders.
No,
but one's hurt.
injured.
Yeah, Ivar. Or Eric. Ivar, I don't know.
I believe it's Ivar, because I think Eric is the one that's...
And I think Eric's going... I think Eric's away right now, because Sarah Rowe. Rowe. Was that her name? No.
Well, I mean, that's her actual last name, but I think it's Sarah Logan.
Logan, there you go. Sarah Logan. Or Sarah Rowe. Probably because I have her on Instagram and I see her, but she is pregnant, so yeah, I think he's going away because she's about to give birth to a baby. Everybody in the WWE having babies. Oh, I guess Alexa Bliss is pregnant? Did I catch that somewhere? Rumor or speculation Alexa Bliss is pregnant already? She just got engaged, now she's having a baby. Right on the way. So she's going to be having a little Cabrera. Anyways, side note, not important. But yeah, I believe I read that. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. That's just various information.
Bloody rumor mills.
Let's just look it up real quick, just so I can give you a point of reference. If that was factual or if that was somebody trying to Alexa pregnancy test. I don't want to know. No.
I'll probably be hearing everything from digital Alexa.
I think that was the pregnancy test it was talking about. Alexa Bliss pregnant. Alexa Bliss pregnant. The Fiend got Alexa Bliss pregnant. Somebody said 2 weeks ago on a clickbait sports entertainer on YouTube have the Fiend got Alexa Bliss pregnant.
Yeah, I think JoJo might have something to say about that.
No, JoJo, yeah. Oh, that's from the 22nd, so that can't be realistic. Does anybody want to give me real information like today? That's from the 20th.
That's why I go to specific websites instead of using Google like that.
I know. But I thought I heard something. See, this one's from 2 days ago. Wrestling World CC. Well, I won't trust Wrestling World CC. Alexa Bliss pregnant. I went news. Give me somebody who can tell me. Seth Rollins, Elizabeth, and other right too. Oh, and WWE just copywritten or got the copyright claim again, or went out and signed for Dean Ambrose's name.
Okay.
So they got the copyright on Dean Ambrose's name.
I mean, they owned it before. It's not like he's going to use it anytime soon. It's like the only way he'll use it if he comes back for whatever reason. Right?
Not after everything they've done to him, and yeah. I will say no, not gonna happen. Anyways, the Hurt Business. Bobby Lashley took on Sami Zayn, Intercontinental Champion versus U.S. Champion. And what did you think?
What did you think was going to happen?
Sami Zayn did what he did, but Bobby Lashley won. End of story. Then we had one of the best matches of the night, Asuka versus Sasha Banks. This was a great back and forth match. And the right person won. Sasha Banks won. I think this is what Sasha Banks needed after winning the title, beating Bayley. She needed that next win over Asuka because she's just been having a hard time beating Asuka. I don't think it hurts Asuka. Asuka's still being red hot. Asuka doesn't really have any competition. At least this gives some push to Sasha Banks as she moves into her next challenger in Carmella.
I agree that Sasha definitely needed the win, especially with her storied championship past. I don't know if I agree with that. It didn't hurt Asuka, though.
I don't think it hurt Asuka.
I mean, they've been dwindling on her. Despite having the Raw Women's Championship, it's like she's not made to look strong.
Who else is on Raw right now? And women-wise?
Not enough strong females.
Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross.
Peyton Royce, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler.
Oh, yeah. Well, Shayna Baszler needs to be the one that's going against Asuka, but they're putting her with Nia Jax with the tag titles, which is stupid. And they got Mandy Rose.
I'm glad they're putting emphasis on the tag titles, too. The women's tag titles.
They need to go to the women's tag team titles need to go to two women in like NXT right now because they've got more women down there that they can actually get that over and keep it without hurting somebody like a Shayna Baszler, who should be the next big competition for Asuka.
I agree with that.
Anybody else there right now wouldn't be viable. Mandy Rose, not viable. Peyton Royce, not viable yet, but she did have a good showing in the next match, which was the women's tag match. Which got changed even. Anyways, I don't even want to talk about that match because in the end, Lana wins by standing there, doing nothing.
Hey, she was bullied into a corner by her own teammates.
Oh, her and her Nia Jax story is ridiculous. Anyways, it's a waste of time. This match was what it is. Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler got... Here's stupidity. Shayna Baszler, this big badass woman, she has the lock, or whatever move is locked into.
Barracuda.
I
can't say it right.
Locked in on Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is able to stand up. Pretty impressive. Bianca Belair looked really, really strong in this. She got over and she fell into the rope. She passed out and her arm hooked to the ropes. The referee counted 1, 2, 3, 5. Shayna Baszler was like, but she was out. Da 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 da. Shayna Baszler got herself counted out, which is kind of stupid. I think that hurts her a little bit. Like, you're not that dumb. You're supposed to be the power of a beast, and you're not going to break the count in 4 or 5. Anyway, so that gets Shayna Baszler out of the picture. It's down to Nia Jax with Lana, who was standing not even on the apron. Wasn't even allowed to stand on the apron because of
She was on
Nia
the
Jax.
steps.
She was standing on the steps, pretty much crying through most of this match. She got in the match for a little bit and then got kicked out. So 5 move Nia Jax got in the ring, and she went with it with Bianca Belair. They went good back and forth. Bianca Belair was carrying this. They went outside the ring. Bianca Belair tossed Nia Jax up and over the barricade at the count of 8, 9, and then before Bianca Belair could get in, the referee counted 10, eliminating both Bianca Belair and Nia Jax, leaving Lana.
The sole survivor for the
And
Raw
Lana jumped in
team.
the ring and danced around and paraded around and celebrated like she just won the freaking title.
Well, for her character, she practically did.
This is as bad. It was as bad as almost like I'm surprised they didn't have everybody come down and like put her on her shoulders, and we have a review of like Lex Luger versus Yokozuna from SummerSlam after he won via countout, and they celebrated like he won the title from Yokozuna. That's how bad.
That would have been a nice callback, though.
Yeah, it would have been a nice callback, but I mean it was trash. Lana wins as the sole survivor for Raw. So Raw wins the men's tag team title. Bobby Lashley wins. The Street Profits win for SmackDown. Sasha Banks wins for SmackDown. So Raw is up 3-2, if my count is correct. And that brings us to the best match of the night. The World Champion versus the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. The Tribal Chief versus Drew McIntyre. The two-time, I tell you, two-time.
So nice he had to say it thrice.
Yes, definitely. So that was that. They had a great back and forth match. It was great. It was probably the best match of the night. It was great back and forth. They barely hits the spear ducking, the Claymore back and forth, constantly going on until the referee got knocked out. Roman Reigns hits with the low blow. And then Jay was coming down the ring and hit him with a super kick. Roman Reigns applied the guillotine choke submission on McIntyre, who passed out, giving Roman Reigns the win.
When people were billing this as...
And I guess SmackDown won because they had 4. I don't know where the other one was, but I don't care.
When people were billing this as a dream match, I actually have to agree with them. To me, this is this generation's Hart Michaels, Hogan Warrior.
No, it was a very good match. It was a great match. I hope to see it again. I know there was a lot of talk that maybe what should happen is... one person on the YouTube network was talking about that. Maybe Drew McIntyre should lose the WWE title, drop it to The Miz or something, and then go to the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble for the 2nd year in a row, and then challenge to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
I'm okay with that strategy, but I want to wait a year. Because I want Roman to have a nice, long, good time with that title.
Well, it just depends on how it all falls apart, how it all goes down. There's a lot of storyline to be written there. It depends on how Jimmy and Jay fall into line into all this picture, because you can see that Jay still, he's trying to please the Tribal Chief, but he's still showing that babyface Uso side. So there's this back and forth pool.
Yes, no, I mean, because like just based on Survivor Series alone, it's like he's trying to make it work. So. He's falling. I mean, he's been falling in line to me.
Well, yeah, he's falling in line. I mean, he's trying to keep his place at the table because that's what he got threatened with. You're going to lose your place at the table. But you can. Jimmy was still like, "Forget him, man. Let's just go." There's still this line where they're not completely on one side of the table. They're doing the bidding because they have to keep their place at the table.
I must have missed where Jimmy came in.
Oh yeah,
I've seen most of the things with Jay.
When they had the background of Survivor Series, when Jay was getting lectured by. Roman for losing that match, like
one of those points where I probably fell asleep for a moment.
No, because they were there, and Roman came out and said, "You didn't have control of your team. That's on you. You weren't the captain. They don't respect you. If they don't respect you, they don't respect me." And And then Jimmy came into the pitch. I forget this man. And Roman's like, "I didn't ask you to be here. You can leave." No, and so they both started walking away, and he's like, told Jay to come back, lectured Jay some more on the subject matter, and said, "If you leave, you're not welcome here." Pretty much telling him he was about to lose his place at the table. So later in that night when Jay came out to redeem himself by helping Roman in that moment, that was kind of there. So it was one of those little slight moments that they're still showing this in between this. Anyway, so it was a great match, and that's where they should have ended the pay-per-view, honestly. Of course, they didn't. They did the Undertaker farewell ceremony. And this was disappointing for everything they built it up to be. Not in the theory that I wanted somebody. I mean, I would love to have somebody come down, like a Sting come down and be like, let's do this. We waited all this time. One last match, both of us. WrestleMania. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. Anybody could have came down and challenged Undertaker to his last match. Like, you really want this to make your last? Put this on WrestleMania. Anywho, they didn't do that, and that's fine. That wasn't the big callback, but they built it up so big, so great. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was because there was no live fans there. I don't even think that really had to do with it. I know a lot of people are saying because the live fans weren't there. But
I mean, it would affect, obviously the adulation around, if that's what you're looking for. But the presentation itself, it would have no effect on. The planning of that presentation should have been so much tighter, and I don't understand why.
I don't get why they did this, because what they did is they opened up and they introduced Undertaker's buddies, friends, pals, opponents, whatever you want to call them. And so first we had money, and Shane McMahon came down the ring. And then the Big Show came down to the ring, which was like, okay, the Big Show and the Undertaker have their history. John Bradshaw Layfield came down to the ring, and his history with the Undertaker, which goes all the way back to when he was just Bradshaw and part of
the
APA, or the Acolytes originally, before they became the Acolyte Protection Agency, because they were the Acolytes under the Ministry of Darkness with the Undertaker. And then Jeff Hardy came down. They sold what made Jeff Hardy over as the main eventer was his match with the Undertaker. The one match, and it was a great match, but yeah. Then Mick Foley, of course, came down, which was great. And then they talked about Mankind in the Boiler Room match and this match. And then it was like they took forever. Like, it was like a side note. Oh, and the Hell in the Cell. It was like Michael Cole was like at the last minute, like, oh, yeah, and the Hell in the Cell. I'm like, that should have been the big thing. Oh, yes, Mick Foley, Undertaker, Mick Foley, Hell in the Cell. Yes, they had the Boiler Room Ball match. They had this, they had that. But who will ever forget Hell in a Cell between... So they didn't... I don't know what that was. That was weird. The Godfather came down.
That was more behind the scenes adulation.
Yes, and they talked more about the Bone Street Crew. Of course, Godfather and Undertaker were buddies prior to this, when the Godfather was once known as the Soul Taker. And of course, the Undertaker and the Godfather were buddies early on WrestleMania 9 or 10, when they were when Godfather was Papa Shango and was helping getting the Warrior ready for the Undertaker and all that stuff. And then he was Kama, and when he was Kama, he got brought back as Kama, and then he joined the Nation of Domination and became Kama Mustafa. So not only did Foley have 3 faces of fear, but the Godfather... Oh, and he actually had 4, because he joined the Rights to Censor for a short time. It was known as the Good Father. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. I'm the Good Father. What can I get you? Anyways, that always made me think that when they did that. Anyways, then the Godwins, Dennis Knight and Mark Canterbury, or Henry O. Godwin, and Phineas I. Godwin, came down in the ring, and of course it was announced by Michael Cole that Phineas used to be known as Midian.
No doubt.
Midian was part of the Ministry of Darkness, and then he became Naked Midian for a while there, which was a dumb gimmick. And then Savio Vega came down in the ring. Was part of the Bone Street Crew. Rikishi came down to the ring, and they talked about Rikishi's Hell in a Cell, and he was another person that Undertaker threw off the Hell in a Cell. And of course, this also brought back reference to the late, great, amazing, wish he would have been around a little more, Yokozuna. Yokozuna was awesome. Whether you loved him or hated him at that time, Yokozuna was good at what he did.
Oh, at the time, you hated him. But because he was so good at his job. Yeah.
And his casket match with The Undertaker, the one where they first buried The Undertaker, made The Undertaker go away. I don't think you could get more heat on anybody than you did in Yokozuna at that Rumble at that time. Then Kevin Nash showed up, which was kind of odd to me. It kind of made me go...
Coming out to the NWO music.
Yes. He didn't come out to Diesel music, and he didn't come down as Diesel, which was who The Undertaker had a feud with. And it was like brief, because it was WrestleMania 12 that they had their match. It was like cool Kevin Nash Taker. He's more of the Clique. He was kind of the Clique and the Bone Street Crew were 2 of the cliques at that time. And they both kind of disliked each other at that time. And there's different reasons there, and you can watch all the documentary. So it was weird that Kevin Nash came out, because I was like, they didn't really have like a huge feud, but it was cool to see Kevin Nash there. Booker T came down, and I guess Booker T and Undertaker had some feuds at some point. I guess I missed this in some point in life. I was also in the Army for a while, so I couldn't keep up with everything after, I guess 2001. I mean, this was 2008. I don't know exactly when Booker and Undertaker...
I know they had dealings with each other, ran into each other. because it's been so long at this point, I don't remember when and all that.
Then, of course, one man everybody expected to be there, he had to be there, was Shawn Michaels came out, which was great. Shawn Michaels, the history there. They talked about WrestleMania 25, 26, and being the greatest, probably the greatest WrestleMania match, greatest match of all times that most people would say is The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. Then Ric Flair came down. Ric Flair and Undertaker had their feud and their conflict, and was Undertaker's 9th or 10th win.
Yeah, 10th.
10th win in his undefeated streak. And, of course, then Triple H came down, because who else needs to come down? And then finally, Kane. And Kane came in full Kane gear. Everybody else came down in street clothes, suits, looking sharp, looking good. And Kane came down in the Kane gear with his chest hair growing out, looking chubby, looking out of place, looking very uncomfortable at the moment. Like, he was like, I don't want to be here.
I feel like I'm underdressed, and on top of I'm not in the best shape anymore.
Yeah, no, he didn't look like he was comfortable being there. Like, he was happy to be there for Taker, but otherwise having to be, like, we've seen him in a suit as corporate King. Why couldn't he came? I mean, he could have worn the mask and came down in the suit. I would think that would have been better to have him come down in the suit or without the mask or let him be King. We've seen him as corporate King, so we know what he looks like without his mask. We've seen him unmasked. So I was kind of confused why they made him come out in full gear, which was also like, why is he in full gear?
No, I'm guessing just for the throwback feel. It's my best guess.
Threw me off because I was like, are they going to have him do something? Is somebody going to come down? Somebody going to get slammed?
Slammed, right?
Something crazy going to go down because he was in full gear.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only one in full gear, so it was like, are we going to have a Brothers of Destruction moment? Is two idiots going to come down here and be like, what, Street Profits going to come out and go, no, you can't retire until we get a match with the Brothers of Destruction or something, you know, like, I don't know. Anyways, that's it. They came to the ring, they all stood there, they waved. We got a video package playing To Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica, The Undertaker, which was really good. The video package was great. Love for the Whom the Bell Tolls song playing through it. You didn't watch that, did you?
I did.
Oh, okay. You just looked at me like you didn't know what I was talking about. And then we come back to the ring and it's empty, except for Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon gives his speech, and he did mention the WWF, which was great.
I was a little surprised at that because he very rarely references that era.
No, and a lot of people were surprised by that. Referenced WWE, WWF, did his little speech, said it's time to go, introduced The Undertaker. Vince McMahon introduced The Undertaker. The Undertaker's music played, took his long stroll. They had the old school music playing 8-bit digital video game style with the lightning bolts, which was really cool. Fireworks, smoke, the whole 9 yards. I mean, they gave this entrance over greatly. He came down and he did his short little speech and he says, it's now time that I let The Undertaker rest in peace. He then got down. Then they did a 10 bell toll for him, officially putting an end to the Undertaker character. Then he got down on his knees. He did his original thing where he would reach up for the urn, and then they dropped in a holographic or a image of Paul Bear there in the ring while he did that, which was great.
Holding the urn.
And after that's when the Undertaker said it's time to let the Undertaker rest in peace. And then his stroke mark, his ring, he left the ring, he walked up the entrance ramp, and he threw his fist up in the air one last time, and that was it. And that was the biggest disappointment there was, because it was like, this was backwards to me. Why would you have all these people come out to the ring and then not celebrate with the Undertaker? You've been telling us that if you're watching, you're speculating, there's news, all these people are coming to say goodbye to the Undertaker. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why we didn't open this scene with the introduction of Vince McMahon. Let Vince McMahon come down to do his speech. Let the Taker come down, do all his stuff. And then, before he walks out of the ring, you bring up the lights, and then you start bringing all these people out to congratulate him, shake his hand, say thank you, do all that stuff. You can bring that human element finally to the Undertaker, because he said, we're going to let the Undertaker rest in peace. So now you can bring that human element in. He doesn't have to be the mystical thing, so he can celebrate with his friends. It makes no sense to bring all these people down to the ring. To me, like, it made no sense. Why did you bring them all out here? I mean, you had all these people here. You didn't use them in between sets, between the shows, or between the matches, so it didn't help. And then you brought them all out for a quick nostalgia pop, which only the diehard fans would have known. I don't know how many diehard fans. And of course, if the diehard fans are there to watch this because they want to say goodbye to all these people, they're going to want to see this, like, goodbye or this ceremony. They're not just going to see the crap you just put on. anybody who doesn't know who these people are kind of like, what's going on? Who are these people?
Twirling their thumbs bored anyways.
Yeah. So I think it wasn't great. It's not what they sold. It was not what they've been talking about for weeks and weeks about the farewell for The Undertaker. There needs to be more. It needs to be live. I hope they do something better. I hope Taker gives one more match, really, and then does the farewell. I didn't say it's going to be perfect, but I mean, there's got to be something better than that. That's.
If they were to redo the ceremony somehow, I'd be down with that. I don't want to see him in another match. I fear too much for his safety.
Okay, Hall of Fame, he gets inducted next year, and then when they do the Hall of Fame somewhere, and they let him come down to the ring and then reintroduce somebody or everybody or something. Of course, if you do a Hall of Fame with Undertaker, I think you don't really have much room to put anybody else in there. You got to give that man like an hour to talk time, because we'd all listen if he wanted to talk and tell his stories for an hour. He better get a good 30 minutes of talk time. I swear, he deserves 30 minutes or more talk time to tell his story, to say his thing, because he's going to get, I mean, if there's people there, that thing is going to blow up. Yeah. That place, the roof is going to blow off. The chants are not, it's going to be hard to stop the chants, so we shall see. Of course, I guess that puts him in with whoever's left over. When did JBL go into the Hall of Fame?
I don't recall.
Because they announced him last night as Hall of Famer JBL. I'm like, did he officially go into the... Okay, let's see here. I just saw his name. Let me pull him up. Because I want to know when he actually went in. Because he may have been this year's, but they didn't do the ceremony as far as I know. Cindy Womack, and now he's married to Meredith Whitney. He likes women with an Indian name and W. Football. Okay. Let me just look here if he was. Grand Slam retirement. Sporadic appearances return. WIVF. Okay, so. Became the third commentator January 25th, 26th. The draft. Layfield return on 2027. He works the commentary. It was okay. So on March 3rd of 2020, during the WWE backstage, it was officially announced that JBL would be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as part of WrestleMania 36. So this year, but that didn't happen. So I don't know how he's okay. Anyways,
it's a technicality. It's just they say who goes.
Well,
in.
the Bellas are supposed to be Hall of Famers this year too. So anywho, this has been the Value of Wrestling podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. There's not much more to say. Survivor Series was what it was. You either enjoyed it or you didn't. I think they had two good matches. It was okay. They could have done more. The Undertaker thing could have been a whole lot better, but they didn't ask me. Do you have any final comments, Mr. Clark?
Like you said, either you enjoyed it or you didn't. But I thought there was some pretty decent content to have in the background at least. Let's say you're doing other things while you're halfway at least paying attention to the pay-per-view. There was definitely, like you said, those two good matches. I would even go as far as saying great. But as current wrestling is, you enjoy it for what it is, and you go on.
Exactly. But anyways, we thank you for joining us here on the Value of Wrestling, right here on YouTube. I am the Big Time BT Baldwin.
I'm Paulus Clark.
Exactly. And we thank you for joining us. We hope you have a good night. Go ahead and make sure you ring that, hit that subscribe. I can talk. I promise you. You hit that subscribe button. So you will always be, you'll be a subscriber, and then hit that bell for notifications so you always will know when we do our next update. And leave us a like and a comment. If there's something you'd like us to do, or if you'd like us to make more videos, or whatever it is, drop it down there in the comments so we can hear you, and we'll read it.
Like it's hot.
And deuces.